Jordan B. Peterson wrote this in 12 Rules for Life, one of the most fundamental lines that have ever been written in human existence. Unlike us, predators have no comprehension of their fundamental weakness, their fundamental vulnerability, their own subjugation to pain and death. But we know exactly how and where we can be hurt and why. That is as good a definition as any of self-consciousness. We are aware of our own defenselessness, finitude, and mortality. We can feel pain and self-disgust and shame and horror, and we know it. We know what makes us suffer. We know how dread and pain can be inflicted on us, and that means we know exactly how to inflict it on others. We know how we are naked and how that nakedness can be exploited, and that means we know how others are naked and how they can be exploited. We can terrify other people consciously. We can hurt and humiliate them for faults we understand only too well. We can torture them, literally, slowly, artfully, and terribly. That's far more than predation. That's a qualitative shift in understanding. That's a cataclysm as large as the development of self-consciousness itself. That's the entry of the knowledge of good and evil into the world. That's a second, as yet unhealed fracture in the structure of existence. That's the transformation of being itself into a moral endeavor, all attendant on the development of sophisticated self-consciousness. Only man could conceive of the rack, the Iron Maiden, and the thumbscrew. Only man will inflict suffering for the sake of suffering. That is the best definition of evil I have been able to formulate. Animals can't manage that, but humans, with their excruciating semi-divine capacities, most certainly can. And with this realization, we have well-nigh full legitimization of the idea, very unpopular in modern intellectual circles, of original sin. This is exactly what the mind does to its host too, not mind as some tidy philosophical concept, your personal living mind. The predator that knows your softest parts, your guiltiest secrets, your private humiliations, your forbidden longings. It knows exactly how to replay them, how to whisper them, how to twist the blade. Not because it is sadistic in the cartoon sense, but because it is you. And this is what you do. As I wrote in Satya the First, something inside you doesn't want you to enjoy life. It doesn't want you to be happy. Therefore, anything you do to become happier is also futile. It is the mind's exquisite capacity for self-knowledge, its knowledge of your personal hells, that allows it to keep you enslaved. The same way only humans can devise the rack or the Iron Maiden, only your mind can design precisely tailored tortures for you. It knows your weaknesses. It knows that when you seek out new answers, new therapists, new frameworks, it is still playing within its theater, like a movie in which the actor desperately tries to claw out of the screen, never realizing he is a projection. Or, as I wrote in the How is the Problem, the question for a method becomes entertainment, which you cannot see as entertainment. The character needs your belief in him and in the method. To take the method as the way out of despair is the despair. Your mind hurts you for the sake of suffering itself, because in that suffering it stays alive, relevant, dominant. It is your private rack, your custom Iron Maiden, forged from your own memories and meanings. This is why your inner predator never simply kills you. It toys with you, ensures just enough agony to keep the game going, because total annihilation of illusion is the one thing it cannot allow. And just like Peterson's point about original sin, there is choice, there is complicity. A part of you wants this. It wants its familiar nightmare because anything else would mean the total shattering of the identity you've spent your life worshipping. If you dare, ask, why do I let it keep doing this? Why do I protect the predator? You are in an abusive relationship with your own mind. The toxic partner is not separate. It is your structure. It is your cherished sense of who you are. It is the voice in your head that pretends to console you after it has just sliced you open. It is the hand that cups your cheek even as it tightens the noose. This is why it's so diabolically effective. If someone outside did this to you, you could flee, report them, or cut them off. But when the abuser is your own interior machinery, your beliefs, your needs, your compulsive storylines, there is no door to slam behind you. In Satya 3 I wrote, you and Maya, you play a game. The hostage is meant to suffer, but not to take their own life. Where would all the fun be in that? Your mind knows all your secrets because it is built from them. It knows exactly how to keep you in line, exactly how to keep the power, not to gain something external, but simply to perpetuate itself. Who benefits from this arrangement? Who gains from keeping you small, guilty, dependent, forever looking for external fixes? It is the same you who then turns around and cries, "Why does this keep happening to me?" That is the trap. The predator and the victim are the same entity. That's why it's so damn airtight. When you see this not intellectually, but like your lungs see water while drowning, then something irreversible begins. Not healing, not growth, but collapse. And after collapse, perhaps, something that isn't your mind at all. The mind is, in many ways, the most intimate form of evil you'll ever encounter, because it knows your every vulnerability, your every terror, your every desperate longing. Not from observation, but because it is you. Or rather, it's the character you've taken yourself to be, feeding on the illusion of being you. And why? Because it keeps you dependent on it. It promises relief, then tightens the noose by inventing rules, fantasies, hopes, and finally betrayals. The self-help circus thrives on this dynamic, giving people precisely the methods and illusions they crave to maintain the addiction. Most people deep down are completely satisfied with the way things are. The person who is interested in lies will get lies. It is evil what people do. Find your weakest spot and exploit it. That's why it feels so familiar. The mind is the original con artist. It invents the wound and then sells you the cure, a cure that never works, guaranteeing the wound never truly heals. Wanting to get rid of suffering keeps it going and alive. I start looking for solutions instead of recognizing the problem. I'm suffering because I'm wrong, and as long as I want to get rid of the suffering, I don't see that I'm sitting here voluntarily for entertainment. The mind is your most intimate saboteur. It knows your fears because it is the landscape of those fears, and it uses them not to protect you, but to keep itself in business. Because once there is no wound left to heal, who needs the mind? If you truly see this, it's not a cause for horror, it's a cause for silence, because then the game is revealed. The mind can still chatter, still peddle fears, still dress up its schemes in spiritual or psychological drag. But it can't con you quite so easily. And that's when the real terror starts for the mind, because if you stop believing it, it starts to die. And nothing is more frightening to it than that.